everyone, what's going on? Today, I've got another bow review. So if you're a big fan of the Samick Sage, I've got the upgrade for that. I think we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna let you know how I think about it, and we'll give you all the answers after the video starts, all right? So stick around. Check out CD Archery, performance ILF risers for hunters to world champions. cdarchery.com, made right here in the United States of America.
How are you shooting?
Yes!
Ghost tab, obviously.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So as I alluded to, I have a bow here from Southwest Archery. This is just a really pretty bow with a great handle here. I love it. And this is the Spyder XL. This is the Southwest Archery Spyder XL with a Y. And this is basically a Samick Sage that's a little bit longer. Here's the main feature. Here's why I like this bow so much. The main feature of this bow is that it is 64 inches. It's a 64-inch bow. Why is that important? Well, if you're a tall guy like me, I'm 6'2" almost, what happens is when you're shooting a smaller bow, like a 62-inch bow, sometimes it does what we call stacking. That means when you're pulling it back, it starts to get really, really heavy here. And then you get it back to anchor. It's hard to get back to anchor. Or you're feeling like you're going to pull it back to anchor. And it's hard. It gets hard. 64-inch bow for a taller or a longer draw will allow you to get back to anchor nice and smooth. And you'll feel smoother. And it'll be more comfortable to shoot. And a lot of archery is feel. If you feel good and the anchor feels good and you're getting ready to shoot, and when you release it feels good, that's a big part of archery. So this bow solves that issue for me with the Samick Sage. Samick Sage goes up to 62 inches. This one goes to 64 with these limbs. So this is a 3-piece riser, they call it, and it's not an ILF. So I'll table that for now. You don't need to know what ILF means. Just know that these limbs are the only limbs that fit on this bow. It's a bolt system, and they have a pocket here. This is a really cool riser. It's a wood riser. It's kind of nice looking. It's a laminated riser, maple wood. It's got a fitting for you could put a fishing reel in here. You could put a stabilizer in here. It's got a hole here where you put your plunger if you wanted to. It's got 2 fittings here. So you can either put a sight on this bow if you really, really, really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it. But you can put your quiver when you go hunting on there. Or if you don't hunt, you can put a quiver on there where you can load your arrows. It's got a radius shelf here, so you can shoot directly off the shelf. So they come with this. They come with these stick-on rests, and you get 2 in the package, and they just go over this buttonhole right here. And you put them on, and I'll show you how to put them on because I'm actually going to shoot off an elevated rest because it's more accurate, and I just like it better. It brings the arrow closer to my eye for aiming, but it does. You know, some things that's missing right off the bat that I don't like. It didn't come with a rest protector. Like usually this is like bear hair or sealskin or something like that, and they'll put this, and this will be a leather plate here so that it protects the riser as you shoot, and it gives a place for your arrows to go. Otherwise, it's a really, really kind of cool shape, I think. And right off the get-go, I've not shot this bow or one like it. I think that the grip is really, really nice on this so far. I'm finding that it feels really, really comfortable. And it's big enough for my hands. Overall, this is a 19-inch riser, and the limbs will make it a total of 64 inches. These are the limbs. These are maple core limbs with a black fiberglass over top. They have the Southwest Archery logo on them. It says takedown recurve 64 inches at 40 pounds. 64 inches. See, I didn't lie to you. There's 2 of them. The tips are thick. They don't look like they're reinforced, but it says that the bow can handle a fast flight string. However, they send you a Dacron string. So this is a 14 strand, 60-inch long Dacron string. The measurements don't make sense, I know. But for a 64-inch recurve bow, you take 4 inches off, and that's the length of your string. So if you had a 62-inch string, or 62-inch bow, you would have a 58-inch string. So this is a 60-inch string. This is the correct string. They then said to me, it's a 14 strand, which is thick, which is cool, but it is not fast flight. So I wouldn't ever keep this on my bow, not even for a minute. But for the testing, I'm going to test it as it comes. So that's the string there. We'll take it out. See, okay. If this is your first time with a recurve bow and you're just trying to get information on recurve bows, when you have a recurve bow like this, one loop end will be larger than the other loop end. And the reason for that is when you string the bow. And I'm just going to show you really quick here. So first of all, how do we put the bow together? So it comes with the limb bolts. We're going to unscrew those. This is very typical. This is like so standard. You wouldn't even believe. A lot of bow companies do this, especially ones out of China. And they have these reinforced metal pockets with screws in there. So these limb pockets here. Now, which one goes on top? Well, it says right on here, this is the upper limb. So if I'm holding the bow like so, I'm going to put the upper limb on like this. Like this. And it fits really nice. And of course, the curve goes away from you. The curve goes away from you. I know. You probably already know this. But okay. And then it's got this nice bushing here. You just put your limb bolt back in there. Screw it on. Okay, it's just a little loose right now. It's okay. And then this is going to say lower limb on it. If you can read that. And we're going to put the lower limb on. All right, so hand tighten that as far as down as you can go. And then you have, it comes with an Allen key or wrench, whatever you call it. And then just screw it on. And you don't want to be tight. You just want to get, that's enough, right? You just feel a little bit of pressure on there. And that is perfect. You don't want to be too tight. You'll check those limb bolts every once in a while and make sure that they're still on there tight. It'll throw the tune of the bow off. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Just make sure that this stays tight and this is nice and flush and flat. And if it comes in, it's not flush and flat like this, then you would return it. There would be something wrong with the manufacturing. Okay, as I was saying, this is the top end. This big loop, when you go to string the bow, is made bigger. Sorry. It's made bigger so I can slide down to about there. And then this end loops onto here, and it needs to stay on there while we string this bow. We'll get our stringer out here in a second. So that's how you start it off, just like that. And then you're going to get a stringer. I'm going to step on it, and then I'm going to pull this tight, and then I'm going to slide this back up. So that's how you string a bow like this. Okay, through the magic of TV, I have strung this bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a ruler. I happen to have a metal ruler. If you have a metal ruler sitting around home, this is invaluable in your toolbox for archery. And I'm going to measure from the inside gap here, the crease here, to the string. So I'm going to take my measuring tool. If you have a bow square, great. If not, whatever. And this should measure anywhere from 8 to around 9 inches. No shorter than 8 or 9 inches. And that's called the brace height. This is right at 8 inches. So what's going to happen is that since this is a Dacron string, I think it's going to stretch a lot. So I'm not going to shoot this today. I'm going to let this stretch. I'm probably going to have to put a few twists in it. So if you've done this before, great. If you can fast forward, but if not, you got to keep that brace height consistent. So we measure it a lot because it'll throw off the direction our arrows are going. It'll make an arrow go left or right. Just depends. But we got to make sure that's consistent every time we shoot. And sometimes the string will stretch when you leave the bow strung. And so you might be thinking to yourself, if you're new at archery or you're an old timer, I've got to unstring this bow every single day. No. You don't unstring your bows. Don't unstring new bows. An unstrung bow is the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. You can't, honestly, man. It's so easy to grab a strung bow, put some arrows on there, and shoot them downrange, and you're shooting constantly. And that's really what you want to do for consistency. You want to shoot as much as possible. I never unstring my bows. Not never, but mostly never. And for this one, I'm going to leave strung at least for 24 hours. So this is the Spyder XL. It's a 2-inch longer bow than what your regular Samick Sage is. It's based on that same platform. You can see the riser looks identical. It's maple limbs, as we discussed. I had to change out the string. The string that comes with it is absolute garbage. Like, totally started falling apart on me day one. And I was shooting with the rest that they put on here, and I thought, oh, that will be good because it's an elevated rest. I'll get some good clearance from my arrows. It's terrible. It's absolute garbage as well. So I went back to the shelf and shooting off the shelf as God intended these bows to be a shot. So, and ever since then, it's been shooting like a dream. Like, literally, this 40-pound bow, and I'll pull it back. I'll do some draw testing to see what my actual weight that I'm pulling on the fingers is. So I'm about a 30-inch draw. So I would assume it's probably about 44 pounds. I'm holding 45 pounds with a 40-pound bow. Again, 64 inches. The typical bow, this typical bow is 62 inches, not in the XL version. And it's the typical Samick Sage size for a recurve bow. I hope everyone's doing okay. So this is my final thoughts on the Spyder XL 64-inch bow. This is probably the best bow you can buy, pound for pound. That's a bold claim. But for the price, it's about 150 bucks on archerypass.com. Pound for pound, this has got to be the best bow. Best $150 you'll spend on a bow. I mean, once you upgrade it a little bit, you know, get a new string on there, and you put other accessories on here, this is going to be one of the best bows you'll shoot for the money, by far. Everything else starts at like $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900. Do they shoot better than this bow? Not in my hands, they don't. Well, that's a bit of a lie. I think, you know, when you take a look at some of the top end bows, the HT21, I'm talking for hunting sort of setup and beginner sort of setup, HT21 from Three Rivers. You take a look at CD Archery, the 21-inch there, great bows. Would I take them over this bow? 100% every single day. But if I had a limited budget, this would be it. I do have a limited budget. I don't know what I'm talking about. But this for $150, you can't beat it. I have no complaints about it other than, you know, like I said in the beginning, the string, no good. It's not a bad looking bow. Put the shelf on here. I would get a springy rest. I'll show you all that in another video where we upgrade this bow to make it a really amazing shooter. Anyway, until we talk again, hunt the good stuff. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, share, and we'll talk to you in the next one.